Embark on a fascinating discussion with a retired psychotherapist and Anthony Nyagan as they explore topics like synchronicity experiences, transcending mindfulness, astral connectivity, meditation, and prayer. This conversation is all about getting in touch with God through prayer and meditation. As things get more interesting, they discuss mind-blowing moments of synchronicity, basically when things just magically line up, and how to notice them without all the mental noise. Get ready for a deep dive into spirituality with personal stories from Anthony Nyagan that'll make you see things in a whole new light.
Do you think that things like meditation and prayer can play a big part in helping you to reconnect?
Can meditation and prayers help you reconnect? Absolutely.
Okay.
But how do you meditate? How do you pray? See, when we are meditating and when we take meditation as a technique, that's not going to help you much. When you're praying and when you consider prayer not as a relationship but as a narrative order,
Right.
it's not going to help.
Right.
Prayer and meditation, both of them, it is really a manifestation or an exercise. What you actually are doing during prayer and meditation, you are silencing your intellect and you are engaging your power of observation. And you are not witnessing the logical order in your observations. You are witnessing the emotional connectivities, emotional exchanges, emotional sparks flying through. Those are the things you are experiencing. You see, when you are observing something, whatever it may be, during prayer, for instance. See, prayer is an interaction, it's a relationship with God.
Right.
And you only observe the emotions at play here, not observing what you want and the logical order of how you're going to achieve it. And presenting to God your visualization techniques. Here, this is how I'm visualizing it, so you answer it in that order.
Right.
That's not what it is. Prayer is actually transcending everything and experiencing the love of God. It's a process of receiving and giving the love alone.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
I agree with that completely.
If there is a dialogue that is taking place, it's nothing more than how much I love you, Lord.
Yeah.
And thank you for loving me. And feeling that gratefulness. So being engrossed in the joy of gratefulness by way of loving. See, that is prayer. That is prayer.
And if you experience prayer like that, then that will help you reconnect.
Absolutely. And meditation is the same thing. Mm-hmm. See, during meditation, you'll go through synchronicity experiences almost all the time. See, but what we do is we intellectually try to figure out what we are observing. Don't do that. Because when you have a synchronicity experience, believe on one thing, you are supposed to do something about it. If you are looking at it from an intellectual order, it's going to take forever because you're trying to do it your way.
Give me an example.
All right.
Synchronicity experience that tells you need to do something.
All right. I will go through my own.
Okay.
Okay. See, when I was meditating and I was seeing a man and a woman in a physical form coming together, and my intellectual answer was, okay, I'm going to get back to my estranged wife.
Yeah.
And that's really what is going to happen. That's what I see in my meditation.
Right.
Did that happen? Yeah. Because my wife and we got back a few months after that. But that is what I forced it to happen. See, in other words, I thought that is what it is, so I just made it happen.
Right.
So I initiated the truth, I initiated compromise, I initiated all of those things because I thought, well, that's what God wants me to do. But that's what that experience was all about.
Okay.
Because I intellectually interpreted
In your meditation.
in my meditation. But when I came to realize it is not what it is at all, then I was able to do something about it. You see, my human action, it did not do the right thing. My intellect actually helped me make a wrong decision.
Right.
And drive me into more chaos than I ever wanted to experience.
Yeah.
That's really how intellectual processes works. But as I delved more and more and I became more and more matured in my meditations and all of that, I was able to see that it was not the connectivity of intellectual orders that I'm seeing, but actually different emotions at play. And that emotions, I could see the sparks flying through.
Yeah.
So I knew it has nothing to do with matters getting connected with each other, but energies getting connected to each other.
Okay.
See, that's when I came to realize it actually has nothing to do with this. It has something to do with consciousness, which Buddhism and Hinduism talks a lot about. Question is Christianity talks about it? Yeah, but it is not that obvious. Now you need to delve into the mysteries to see how Christianity discusses that. Mm-hmm. But Buddhism and Hinduism, it explicitly talks about it.
Right.
So I started delving into Buddhism and Hinduism especially, to see what exactly is consciousness.
Right.
So the meditation and consciousness and all of that, it just took a very, very different form. And synchronicity experiences continued. See, that's when I came to realize it is not about emotions connecting a man and a woman becoming one body,
Right.
but the consciousness making them one astral body. Okay, so it actually is they become consciousness, one in consciousness. Mm-hmm. So the concept of astral body is there in Vedanta, mm-hmm. well described, and even the teachings of Buddha, that thing is there.
Right.
You see, even in Christianity, for instance, how did the three wise men? So Jesus was going to be born before they started their journey. You see, it's by way of knowing how the astral body comes together.
Yeah.
Every element in the universe has an astral body. You see, even the cosmos, they have an astral bodies. So, and they connect with each other through astral communications. See, that is pretty much, even in modern physics, particles in quantum entanglement, they're connected to each other.
Define astral body.
Astral body is a conscious energy that takes a sort of a certain form.
Right.
Okay, and that form can be observed in meditation. Okay, so what we are looking at during meditations and things like that is the movements of the astral sparks. How God is entangled with His creations. How the universe itself is entangled in the same creative process. Mm-hmm. All of that you can see. You can see it in specificity, specifically see in two elements, you can see in a universal consciousness also.
Right.
See, that's the power of meditation. That's what the observation is all about.
Yeah. Very powerful.
It is. It really is very powerful. See, God created us in His image and likeness. God sees these things. So we as His image and likeness, we have the power to see these things also. God knows how entangled He is with all His creation. We are so intellectually engaged, we don't.
Yeah. I'm trained that way.
Yeah. Even though Jesus came, He restored us from our polarity-based thinking and restored in us the power to observe and all of that. He did all of that. But we have killed Him and we are still holding on to what we knew before.
Yeah.
See, it's not a weird concept by any means. Those three wise men knew months ahead of time that Jesus was going to be born. They did not ride on a camel overnight from wherever they were coming from to Israel.
Right.
They knew that this star is going to appear months before they started their journey.
I wonder if they knew that it would light on Bethlehem. Maybe that's just to say they followed the star.
Well, it'll light up in Bethlehem. Yeah, I mean, we know when an eclipse is happening and what is the vantage points and all of that. Yeah, we know that now. I mean, because, there is so much we know about astrophysics and all of that, we can predict such things. But in those days, they knew that. They knew all of that. And that's the beauty of it. That's the power of meditation. That's the power of spirituality. See, how do we interpret that scientifically and with the methods we have and all of that? That's an intellectual way of interpreting it. But the knowledge itself is ahead of interpretations.
Yeah.
Invention does not take place as a process at the end of it. Invention begins and it ends in a convincing manner. Where does it begin? It begins at the synchronicity experience.
Yeah.
And then it takes the course.
Begins with the spark.
Yeah, it begins with that spark.